selkies were known to step out onto the shores of the Highlands in Scotland to dance in the midday sun in their human form. The fisherman, maybe knowing this, decided to go on a long walk along the coast one of the midday suns. When he spotted the sealskin on the ground, maybe he already knew that it would belong to a selkie, but he was intrigued. He wanted to touch it, and so he stepped down closer and picked it up. It smelt salty and damp, but it was quite comforting to him. It reminded him slightly of the boxes that he kept his fish near his house. Unconsciously, he almost just thrust the skin into his backpack and popped it on and carried on along his way. Creeping around the corner, he spotted them. They were there. It was the selkies. They were dancing in the sun, so joyously, so happy. He knew he'd got the selkie skin. Perhaps nervous, but still intrigued, he carried on stepping towards them, just drawn to their beauty. As he walked, he slipped on a rock, and the rock echoed across the cove, and they jumped and looked. Nervous, they all thrust their sealskins on and swam away into the sea. The woman, left without her sealskin, rushed around nervously looking for her sealskin. And he knew that he'd taken hers, but he decided to not tell her. He wanted to smell her sweet skin like he'd smelt her sealskin. And so he stepped towards her, beckoned her and gave her a big embrace. It felt good to protect this woman. It felt good to hold her like he'd held the skin earlier on. And so they decided to walk along the coast back to his home. The woman didn't know he held her sealskin, but she trusted him in some way because she knew that there was part of him that wanted her, and that felt good. They carried on and they grew, and he was so lustful and so loving. And she, although she felt as if she was missing something, enjoyed this feeling of being wanted and loved. As she grew, and as they grew together, they decided to have babies. And these babies, they grew up along the Highlands. And they managed to slowly fill this hole of her other selkie self. And it felt good to love and pour herself into being a mother and being responsible to her selkie, to her children. Although she felt the pain and the missing of the sea and the adventure of her life before, raising her children still felt good, and it felt as if it gave her something. One day, as she was wandering along the beautiful, misty coasts of the Highlands, her children came bounding down the hill to her, holding this weird, ragged coat. And instantly, she knew it was her selkie coat, her seal skin. And she held it, and she closed her eyes, and she smelt the smell of adventure, of freedom, of the sea, of the life that meant that she had no responsibility and she could just explore whatever she wanted to explore. But when she opened her eyes, she saw another life that meant responsibility and selflessness and giving and love. And she wasn't sure which one she wanted to choose. She waited a day and a night thinking about which skin to inhabit, which skin to put on, who she wanted to be. And it was when the full moon rose that she walked down to the sea, and she decided to just slip on the selkie coat. It was painful, but it also felt good, because she knew that she was ready for a little bit more adventure.
Wow, she made a choice.
I know.
Wow.